My desire is to start a daycare. I mean, for so long, I wanted to have a daycare, but I just didn't have the patience for the older children. I just didn't have the patience for the older children. But now that I'm older and I have a daughter that's getting older and all that stuff, it's just like, you just want to get patience for that age range. Well, I do. I want to just have patience, and well, I have more patience now that I'm older. And I want to have a daycare center, a beautiful one where they teach children about their culture, black children about their culture. A real live daycare center. And then those children, once they grow up, the first, ones that go from infant to however long, I want them children to be able to go. I want my building project to be able to house those children for education all the way up through the 12th grade, all the way up and through to high school. And this same knowledge that white people refuse to allow black children to know, or like, say for instance, stuff like the Maccabees or the Book of Enoch, the Book of Eli, all that stuff like that, like they have a lot of world happenings and stuff in it, and that's helped to shape our culture and a lot of why we went through what we went through, coupled with references biblical references that back what these other books are saying concerning our culture and our royalty, our position in society, for real, in a real way, not the one that we always grew up in public school thinking about. Because, I mean, honestly, none of that stuff really went with us nowhere. It wasted a lot of our time. It wasted a lot of our 13 years of life just wandering in high school trying to figure out who we was finna date or what we was finna be after we got out of there. We never really cared about high school. I mean, some people loved high school, but it wasn't for the reasons that they say high school is for. Like, no child can focus that long unless, like, they're traumatically going through at home. Like, if they're happy children, most children don't focus at school. They happy. And they enjoying life, and I'm on a vlog. Why? If children are happy, it displays in their creativity. If they're not happy, it displays in their lack of creativity. So, if I start a school, I want to really accentuate that part of childhood, and that is the education of the history, the bloodlines, the slavery backgrounds, but before slavery, the descendants from Africa, the descendants from South America, like a lot of those things that just got skipped over. Okay, and then there were Indians that were in America before Christopher Columbus got here, and they were black. They looked like black people. Like, those were the original settlers here. Those were the original people here. So, and then always going all the way back to the Moors. I mean, like, there's so many aspects of it that need to be talked about from a childhood age and not trying to be grasped at an adult age, because then you have to go through a lot of cleansing of the things that you learned for so many years that was just lies and just something to filter the truth through. So if I start a school, it will be based upon trying to accentuate children's creativity and their ability to soar and excel at young ages, not wait until they get 13, 14, 15. I mean, 13, 14, 15 is fine, but there are some child prodigies. There's children that already know how to sing at 2 years old. There's children that already know how to put together letters and words and numbers and things at 2 and 3 years old. So that means that they understand and they can comprehend at a faster rate. And only a certain amount, or only a certain demographic of people could understand how to flow with children that could be exceptionally gifted, or they could be a little on the weird side, maybe not so much gifted, but they may be just a little bit more weird than other children. And that just could be because of the way that they were raised, some things that they've learned or some things that they haven't learned about themselves, but they're just not able to connect it. So then there's their weirdness. Okay, so then we'll make sure that children don't feel out of place. We'll make sure that they don't feel like that they're not heard. That part right there. Make sure that whatever they have to say is being heard. Because I feel like God can use children, honestly. I feel like God can use children, and they could probably be able to tell. They could probably at a child's innocence and pureness, they could probably be able to tell you how to put together a book. If you give them the knowledge, if you give them the tools that they need, they could probably be able to tell you how to write a book, a #1 bestseller. They could be able to tell you, if you just give them the tools, they'll be able to show you without showing you, because of course they couldn't really, explain too much, but they could show you how to build a website. I remember this one young boy, I did substituted for this school one time, and he was like 10 years old. This young man was a genius, and he was far advanced in technology. That's the word. And so I was telling him, he said, well, he was asking me questions, what do you want to be what did you want to be when you said you want to grow up? Did you want to be a teacher type of thing? And he was just very advanced. And I said, well, I wanted to start my own shoe company, because at the time I had this app on my phone, and during my break while I was doing substituting, I would go on the app and create my own color shoes, or my own etch-a-sketch of shoe. Like, I would have my own prototype and sell it, or have it available to be able to be sold overseas. And if I paid a certain amount of money per month, it would allow me different designs and different patterns and stuff like that to keep on creating. And so I showed the little boy the thing. He was like, wow. He said, well, you could take that and you could turn and make a website. And I was like, what? And he just began to write down how to make a website. This boy knew how to start a business already at 10. So it's out there. There's children that are exceptional. There's children that are exceptional and that would heighten their parents, their lineage. They would take their lineage to another level.